519 in our county. Please keep in mind also the first responders who care for all of those folks, the nurses, the doctors, our EMS. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm going to announce that the meeting, as always, is being recorded. The chairman's report, we met in an executive session prior to this meeting to discuss several personnel matters. And also I need to announce that Christine Tara Borelli has resigned from the Park and Rec Commission Board. And now we can begin our public hearing, and the hearing is to consider an ordinance to install the no parking signs on North Chester Road. We talked about this, we've advertised it, so I'm gonna go ahead and open the hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you indicated, this is a proposed ordinance that would prohibit parking on North Chester Road, on the west side from the Rose intersection with East Strasburg Road to a point approximately 700 feet south of the intersection. I have two exhibits to make part of the record. Exhibit B1 is a proof of publication indicating that public notice of this hearing was advertised in the Daily Local News on January 25th of this year. B2 is a copy of an email dated January 20th, 2021 from this office to the Chester County Law Library and the Daily Local News, providing the proposed amendment for public inspection. And we'll make those two exhibits part of the record. It would obviously be appropriate to accept any public comment on the ordinance and take action as appropriate.
Okay, at this point, I will open it to public comment.
Just a reminder, if you're on the call and you would like to comment, please raise your hand by hitting *9. David, there's no public comment.
Okay, thank you. So I guess we can, the motion is to approve the ordinance amendment chapter 225 of the East Goshen Township Code titled Vehicles and Traffic, specifically 225-57, Schedule 14, to prohibit parking at all times on the west side of North Chester Road from its intersection with East Strasburg Road to the point 700 feet south of said intersection. That's the motion. Do I have a second?
Second. I don't care if somebody else
I'll call any comments from the board members?
No, I think we
No.
heard from some of the people.
Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Tom, if this was the most difficult hearing you've had in a long time, well, then you've been living the good life, my friend.
Well, thank you.
Hey, Tom, this is the way we do things.
It's always a pleasure.
Fly
Kara,
around.
you only used one page.
Yeah. And thank you, Kara.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll take my leave now.
Bye,
Thanks a
everybody.
lot. Good to see all of you.
We're going to leave those two right now. They're going to go out in the virtual world and have
Take care, Marty. Bye.
Thanks. See you.
The next item on the agenda is emergency service reports, and we have none this evening. And we also do not have a financial report this evening. So the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of January 19th, 2021. Anybody have any comments or edits?
I read them.
No, I didn't see any change. I don't see any changes.
Okay,
I
I'll,
had one on page 3, line 4. Can we add Christina Morley's last name on there?
yeah, it's probably a good idea, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I did have her listed as an attendee on the first page, but I will definitely add her name there too.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank
Any
you.
other comments, edits, or anything on the minutes?
I'm good.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented with that one edit.
I would make that motion.
Thank you. Second, anybody?
Second.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, John. Any public comments?
Nope.
All right, seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. The treasurer's report. Chris, want to take us through a little bit of,
Sure. I guess most importantly, the 2021 real estate tax bills were mailed out last Friday. So if anybody didn't get one, by next Friday, I'd say any residents could either give me a call or email me for that. I listed the cost of mailing just out of curiosity. It was $2,728 for the 6,795 bills that we mailed.
40 cents a piece.
What did you say?
40 cents a piece.
It averages about that. Yeah, we get a little bit less for if we have a 5-digit code or 4-digit extension on the zip code.
Yeah, that's very good. Very good.
Anyway, you'll see some Paley Pike Trail section C, D, and E, some expenditures that are covered by grants. And there was some expenses for Milltown Dam that are in the treasurer's report for this week. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a couple questions, Chris, on the batches, if this is the right time.
Sure.
Colleagues, is that all right to bring up?
go ahead, Mike.
Just two, and they're really backstories, I think. I just am curious of the background. On batch 2 of 4, page 3, it's with Intercon truck equipment. The total set of invoices for that vendor is over $7,000, but one of them was for $4,500. It listed maintenance, repair damaged Peterbilt dump body. Can you explain the $4,500 repair or the damage? Was it an accident? What do we know anything specific?
Yeah, it was an accident in a snowstorm, and we hit a telephone pole and bent the spreader. So they replaced the salt spreader, and the insurance company has since reimbursed us for it.
Ah, see, that's a good end to a backstory. Thank you, Mr. Miller. And the other one I have is, Chris, you may be able to explain this one. This is batch 4 of 4, page 5. It's under Saints Peter and Paul School.
Oh, yes.
Looks like a pretty good sized refund of $3,200 under sewer. Anything particular on that one?
Yes, actually, they reached out to me last week. They actually were billed a substantial bill for sewer in the 4th quarter. And they reached out to me and explained that they had a leak and provided me with documentation that they had that leak repaired. So there was an adjustment made to their account to be consistent with the previous bills that they had incurred, a normal regular sewer bill.
Excellent. Bless you, my child.
Great.
And it was approved by Rick. So bless him too.
Bless you too, Rick.
All right. Any other board comments on the treasurer's report? I'll entertain a motion to accept those.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion that we graciously accept the receipts and approve the expenditures as presented in the expenditure register as summarized in the treasurer's report prepared and presented by Chris Boylan.
Thank you,
I'll
Mike.
second that.
Thanks, Michelle. We've had our comments. Any public comments?
No public comment.
All right, great. I'll call the question. All those in favor of approval, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
have no old business. Under new business, we are considering recommendations from Jason on Community Day. Thank you for your summary, Jason. You want to just go through that real quickly?
Absolutely, sure. So the Park Commission and I met in December and January to set our event calendar for 2021. And of course, Community Day is one that the board is heavily involved with. So we typically hold the event in June, But with recognition of the pandemic and where we currently stand, and with the vaccines rolling out, not as swiftly as we would all like, the Park Commission's recommendation is, instead of holding it at the end of June, that we hold it at the end of August, giving us an additional 2 months of wiggle room. Post general public vaccination was really our goal there. So we can hold it the last Saturday in August, which would be right before the schools go back to school. It's typically when we hold the food truck festival, so it is a great weekend. Everybody's back from the shore or whatever occurs this summer. The event itself, the profile will be fairly similar: moon bounces, food trucks, the health fair by Paley Hospital, etc. The main difference, and these are pandemic related items, would be we're going to remove the helicopter for this year so that we can move a lot of those elements over to field C and then also on field A. So instead of all the moon bounces being on field B together, neck to neck to neck, they'll all be spaced out across all 3 fields. So we can have everybody space out. Attendees would have to wear masks. And currently the state recommendation or guideline essentially is, for our size park, you can hold a single event of up to 2,500 people. So we would more than likely utilize a ticketing system. They'd be either free tickets or $1 a ticket nominal fee. And that way we could sell, quote unquote, tickets up to, I would say, 2,000 people, knowing full well that a few people will just come that are, passing by on the side of the road. So we can ensure that we stay below that recommended or the guidance that the state has set out. And then, of course, portable restrooms and hand washing stations, instead of being centralized where they typically are, there'll be 3 to 4 different areas around the park, would be the other consideration too. So I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at the map, but essentially it's a fairly straightforward community day, except for with more space between the items, and anticipating the smaller total of attendance. We also are lowering the number of food trucks. So the other consideration, it's not really a motion for tonight, but maybe for the FYI I have in there for the events, is the food truck festival. The Park Commission was recommending moving it to the community day date at the end of June. Reason being that event, because it's just food trucks and bands, it's much more fluid. And if we would need to, we could reschedule it for a later fall date. Now, specific to that one, since I put in this motion or this memo, with the federal government buying 200 million more vaccinations, but the rollout being in question, my recommendation would be I can start to talk to vendors in terms of the food truck festival, of having it at the end of June, but not actually make a decision until April 1st. So just so they could pencil it in and we can get things moving, but I would come back to the board specific to the food truck festival at April 1st, if not a little sooner. And we can have a few more months to see how the vaccination rollout goes and then pull the trigger there. So.
Okay, Jason,
So
the motion now is just for community day, though. We're not going to.
Yeah, yep, you're correct.
Okay.
Jason, what are you going to do? Suppose I would say that you're never sure of what the government's going to do with respect to its requirements and obligations. Are all this stuff going to be protected in the event that it's canceled and we have to say to everybody, I'm sorry, but the government canceled us out? Or
yeah, so I'm only so in terms of that, and you're kind of thinking of like expenses, I'm only going to sign contracts that have language in there related to COVID-19. So for instance, the moon bounces, they typically cost $3,500. We would only sign a contract that has COVID related language that would, credit back, or not credit back, but, refund us whatever fees we had put out there.
Okay. That Marty, you
Yep.
were right on track, because I was going to ask Jason what, other than the date that we would be accepting the recommendation of the Parks and Recreation Board and Jason, what financial commitments we would get locked into. So you asked a good question. I appreciate it, Jason. Thank you.
Yep. Now, the only caveat there is the fireworks vendor. Last year, the contract that we signed last year was a 50% deposit that we paid whenever it was February, before the pandemic, obviously. And he released us from 25% of that 50% that we can roll over towards this year. So if we were to move Community Day from August, we would still want to execute fireworks during 2021.
Okay, so we'd have a display, whether it was Community Day or someplace else, that we would at least have, you know, almost like a drive-in, if nothing else, if COVID is still strong, the protocols and the requirements, that we could have it, have the display go on, whether it's that date or another date before the end of the year, and people can show up in their cars or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, if it got to that, you know, I would think, let's say August comes around and we can't do Community Day, we can reschedule a smaller version of Community Day that's just fireworks, essentially, maybe for October. And then if we have to go the drive-in route, we will. But I definitely think that the residents would like some form of the fireworks if possible in 2021.
Jason, just to be clear, we did a 50% deposit. We got half of that back. Is that right? We got 25%.
That's correct. Yep.
Credit toward this year.
Yep. Correct.
25% of the deposit, it's less than that, David. I thought it was 25% of the deposit. Is it 25% of the whole thing?
Well, it's the same thing. 25% of the whole, but it was like $2,400, give or take, something like that.
David's got the right answer if it's the whole thing.
So you're saying there's a 50% deposit, but they'll give us back half of it if it doesn't happen. But your intent is one way or the other, we're going to have a display, whether it's a CV-19 vaccination celebration day or whatever.
No.
Absolutely.
That
All
sounds
right.
great.
So let's have a motion and then we can talk about this.
I just want to ask Jason one question first, David, and that is on your what do you call it, the June thing. Are they limited to 2,500 people too?
Yeah, and any event that you hold in a public space right now is
And how many
2,500.
people- How many people have you normally had attended that affair?
The food truck festival, the last year that we held it, it was 4,000, 4,500.
Well, how are you
But
going
not at the same time. That's a flow
Yeah,
through.
not at the same time, but we would do something similar where we would have a ticketing service or ticketing process to attend.
You can click in and click out.
These trucks are going to also be at the community day?
Yeah.
Most of them come to both events.
Is I'm talking about this year only because this year's an odd year.
Mhm.
Is it worthwhile to, instead of having June, have everything on the community day? As opposed to having something that's only part of the thing on June?
Well, my only fear there would be if we do a quote unquote food truck festival that has the beer and the wine, and then also a community day, that the audience would be much larger. Like there would be 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people that would want to come. And in this environment, it'd be harder to keep the event at the 2,500 person maximum. So if we went that route, I would rather move the food truck festival further into the fall, but keep them separate. Rather than one mega event, if you know what I mean.
That begs the question, are you better off having it in the fall regardless? Or are you better off having it in June as the first choice?
How are they?
Yeah, and that's why I think we should wait till April 1st to make a final decision on that.
Okay.
And we can talk some more about that, but the motion tonight is just on Community Day. So someone want to make a motion?
I do.
I would make a motion to host the Township's Community Day on Saturday, August 28th, 2021.
Second the motion.
Thanks, John. Any comments from the public?
No comments.
Also my daughter's birthday, so.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna call the question. All those in favor, aye.
Right.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Jason.
Are you gonna have?
Thanks,
Thank
You're
Jason.
welcome.
Well,
Next
get out
item.
and shovel the snow, Jason.
Next item is to consider recommendation for poet laureate. We have an email from
It's probably me
Jason.
again.
Jason's been entertaining applicants, and Christy Marshall has applied as poet laureate. Do we have any discussions or?
Well, I just wanted to just open, the Poet Laureate program has been a really good success. You know, it was obviously started when Senya was back as chair and Ginny was looking for a new opportunity. And she did a wonderful job. Nancy carried the torch. And now Christy Marshall is the recommendation from the Park Commission. And she studied under Ginny, and we all know her from sustainability. She does great work. She's very committed to the township. And if you look at my memo, she has a lot of experience, both as a teacher, as a poet. And she also has a really neat synergy helping us form the Garden Laureate. So I think she'll be able to merge a couple of those new emerging township functions. And I think she'd be a great addition as our Poet Laureate.
You going to do it at halftime of Super Bowl?
Is she going to be a Super Bowl performer? That'd be great.
There you go. Can I have a motion?
Yes, so moved.
Thanks, Marty. Second.
Seconded.
Thanks, Michelle. Any public comment?
I have none.
I'll call the
No
question.
public comment?
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
So I would say
Jason.
congratulations to Chris.
Great. Congratulations, Christy.
Yeah, that's exciting. She's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think she's actually on the call. I don't know if she
She
wants to say
is.
hi and say
Yeah,
a few
sure.
words.
She's right over there on the right-hand side.
Hey, Christy, you're
Muted,
muted,
and once
but
she has the phone,
congratulations.
she can't say anything.
I don't know how a poetess can be
Christy hit
muted.
*6.
She said, she told me if she unmutes, she's gonna do the entire charge of the light brigade, so.
Okay, well, in that case, thank you, Christy. Congratulations.
See you at halftime.
She'll
Your
do,
creative spirits carry us forward.
Into the valley of death rode the 5 supervisors.
or I'll do Milton's, the Chaucer's in Old English if you want.
Ay, ay, ay.
The prologue. One that April in the shore sutte the drought
Next
of
meeting,
March hath
David.
perished.
Next
No.
meeting.
All right.
David?
Next thing on the agenda is to acknowledge the report
David?
from the.
David, Christy is trying to say something.
Oh, Christy's
Oh
muted.
boy.
Oh,
Oh
the
boy.
only
We
thing
can hear you.
I was going to say is I'm not on live because I have a black patch over one eye today with a little infection. So I was waiting for you to put me as pirate laureate, and I would have appeared in person. But looking forward to it. Thank
I
you
think
all
that's
so
another
much.
day, though.
Well, shiver me
Christy,
timber.
It's minor, and congratulations. Thanks for stepping up again on this one. And I'm sure you're going to be a hit. We can't wait to hear some of your first publications.
Roses
Thank
are
you
red,
so much.
violets are blue.
Next item on the agenda is just to acknowledge the report on the recreation program that Jason prepared. And I don't know about you guys, but I could look through the report and just shake my head and say, I don't know how Jason gets it all done in the committee and the volunteers. It's an amazing list, and it's what makes us East Goshen Township.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Great
Yeah.
variety.
I like the pictures.
Me too.
yeah, we all like pictures. The next item is to consider stormwater agreements for 1202 Upton Circle and 16 Brookmont Drive. Anyone have any questions?
These are
or-
in-law suite agreements, right? Or did I miss it?
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, my mistake, yes. I thought they were stormwater, sorry.
Oh, wait a minute, there's stormwater?
I thought they were stormwater. I misread Mark's memo. So they're in-law agreements.
Oh, I thought they were stormwater related to the these are for sheds, right?
No, these are
in-law suites.
These are the in-law ones.
Oh,
yes.
these are the
Rick-
in-law ones. I'm sorry.
Rick, may
These are
I
the-
ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
What do our ordinances say about in-law arrangements? Are they forbidden or what?
We allow them. There's an agreement that's recorded that when the person dies or passes away or moves out, then the unit gets converted back to a single-family dwelling.
Okay.
In other words, it can't be used as a rental unit or that sort of thing. That's the key feature, I think, John, of the whole ordinance. Rick?
Okay,
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
thank you for that clarification.
So the motion is to authorize me, the chairman, to sign in-law suite agreements for 1202 Upton and 16 Brookmont Drive.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board authorize the chairman to sign the in-law suite agreements for 1202 Upton Circle and 16 Brookmont Drive.
Second motion.
Thanks, John. Any public comment?
No public comment.
Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. Under any other matter, this evening prior to this meeting, we interviewed 2 candidates for the Malvern Library Board, Julie Nicholson and Becky DiNucci, both excellent candidates. So I'm going to make a motion that the board approve Julie Nicholson and Rebecca DiNucci as our representatives on the Malvern Library Board of Directors.
Second the motion.
Any comments?
I think,
No, I think they're fantastic candidates.
Yep, agree.
yes, we
They were excellent.
Any public comment?
There's no public comment.
Okay, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. We are now at public comment. Do we have any public comment?
Can I actually just, under any other matter, can I just commend Mark Miller on his monthly report? We acquired a new ATV trailer from the county at no cost, thanks to Mark and his expediency in getting, I guess, replying. The Public Works Department has been doing a lot of really incredible stuff these past few weeks. They've been doing a lot of storm sewer repairs and replacement, putting in meters and whatnot. They're taking on some projects that no other Public Works Department probably would, because they just have that ability. And so I appreciate Mark saving us a lot of money by not sending that out to an outside firm.
Yep. And OSHA requirements for that deep ditch work and stuff, that's tricky stuff in wet weather. So it's
And you're not
an amazing job. So
They really did. And not to mention, of course, the wonderful job they've done with clearing our streets and whatnot in the park. So thank you, Mark.
And closing up my driveway 3 times today. Thank you. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Chairman lives, I can tell you that.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle. It's a recognition well deserved. Any public comment at this point?
There is no emails and no hands up, David, so there is no
Okay.
public comment.
All right, just acknowledge correspondence from Chester County Library, information that we received in our packets, and also variance notification for 19-8 Oneida Lane. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. Okay.
Good job,
7:30.
David.
Woohoo!
All right.
Right.
We're done for the night,
That's a
right?
well-oiled
All
machine.
right. Talk
Thank
soon.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
Chris, see you. Thanks, Jason. Susan, thank you. Rick,
Bye.
see you
I
guys.
had a little help. I had a little help from a new helper here. My cat kind of got in the way, so the tail that you saw was not mine. It was the cat.
I was
My
wondering.
son's cat.